Oh, no. Fuck. It's in the water. It's in the water. Stop, stop. It's in the water.
Hello and welcome. My name is Greg. This is my YouTube channel where I fly FPV drones, I make video content, I skate, I make electronic music. I try to make sense of it all and combine those things into something that you might enjoy or consume, or I think consume is probably not the best word for it, but something that sharing an experience or sharing a story, sharing a perspective. I'm trying to do all of that with the skills that I've been working on throughout my young adult life into my current middle age. I hope to make more videos with this sort of subject matter where I just kind of like dissect different art forms a little bit and go into the weeds a little bit, but also have a story or something to take away from the video. So if you enjoy FPV drones, flying FPV drones, if you enjoy electronic music, if you enjoy any kind of action sports, this is the right channel for you. So thank you, welcome. This is my second take because I messed up the colors and everything on the first take, and I'm kind of glad I'm doing it over again because I got the jitters out because I haven't done this in a while. This is part of my little 30-day challenge, which it's already like beyond done, but like these are my final last tracks from my recently released album that are going to be used in this video as I'm talking about the behind the scenes of this boat trip that I took where I filmed Captain Alex and his crewmate Yvan and their luxury yacht. So it was a very awesome experience. I want to just kind of go index a little bit of what you're gonna hear about in this video, because I'm trying to look. I have a piece of paper. I'm being organized. Usually I do this off the top with a dome, but now I have a list of notes, which is wonderful. So I'm gonna try to do it a little bit. So intro, check. Mention my mission, check. Mention the album, triple check. I'm gonna talk about how I met Captain Alex, and then I'm gonna show you the ad real quick. And then I'm just going to give you behind the scenes of the day, and also just sort of like what I learned from filming, because this is my second time ever being on a boat and filming with a drone, with FPV drone, and also filming handheld on this Sony FX3. So real quick, I met Captain Alex through Laura, who is part of AbracadabraTrip, which is like an arts collective where they perform in different cities and do really cool collective sort of events and bring joy to the world. I filmed her post-Art Basel yacht event, and it was Captain Alex was the driver of the boat. So I met Captain Alex through Laura. So thank you, Laura, for that that connection. And Captain Alex and I started talking after that event, and he was looking for just some drone shots, some clips of drone shots that he can throw on his social media. Okay, cool, sounds good. But at the same time, I was like, I had my gears turning. I was like, well, why not just make like a full advertisement while we're here and have like a little spec ad? It'll be good for him, it'll be good for me, because it gives me experience, and I have now something to present to other potential yacht owners and event holders and things like that. So I think it worked out great for everyone. So I'm gonna just run the ad real quick, and then I'll talk about the process of being on a boat, filming on a boat, and just the whole experience of the day, which was phenomenal. Enjoy.
Hey guys, Captain Alex from Miami Scuba Diver, Luxy Diver here. We are docked at Miami Beach Marina. We do scuba diving, hookah diving, snorkeling, and cruising on yachts. We are the only company in Miami Beach that provides these services on a luxury yacht. And we're just enjoying this magical, spectacular day. We want you to come out with us. Please give us a call. Get on our website, miamiscubadiver.com, luxydiver.com, and we're happy to take you out on this beautiful 45 Atlantis Flybridge yacht. Has an awesome sound system. It's got a barbecue on board. Of course, we got air conditioning, we got hot water, showers inside and out. We got a full snooper rig with 300 feet of hose. We got some fishing rods on board. We got snorkels and masks for 13 people. We can accommodate scuba divers on here as well. We have the most amazing dive masters and captains to take you out diving on luxury yachts. So give us a call, and looking forward to making a magical, memorable, amazing experience for you guys.
All right, well, that's the ad. I think it came out pretty awesome considering it was one day of filming. And given that it was a one person filming the whole thing, pretty dang impressive. I'm impressed with myself. First things first, the underwater scuba diving shots were by Captain Alex himself on his GoPro 5. He sent me the footage, I put it into the edit, all combined really well together. So they started off in like mid-afternoon, around like 2 p.m. Personally, I think that the most optimal time to film is sunrise or sunset. And but we started mid-afternoon, so we were going to be able to catch some of the sunset. He had the intention of capturing a lot of this like very transparent, like blue coral area that's just stunningly beautiful.
Oh, I like the clear water, and then you can see the reef on the bottom, the black spots. Like an Instagram effect, but it's real. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real, folks. It's a sparkle effects on TikTok, but the real thing.
So we did that. I filmed with the 5-inch FPV Cycle Glide frame with the Imperial motors. I love this drone. It's my analog build. I got some fantastic footage. And then I crashed it in the water. So I'll talk about what happened there in how things that I've learned towards the tail end of the video. But we were able to rescue the drone.
There you go. Still recording.
We were able to film in Stiltsville.
Stiltsville is off of the end of Key Biscayne, in between the lighthouse Key Biscayne and Soldier Key over there. And these are houses on stilts. They were built in the 60s. They're federally owned right now by private and federal, and sometimes people stay on them. And it's just a really relaxing spot where you can see the horizon, the sunsets over there, and you could actually see the sun setting. Just like if you're on the West Coast, you could see the sunset all the way down here. It's one of the spots in Florida where you can get that from the East Coast. It's pretty beautiful.
Captain Alex is very well versed in the surrounding areas, and because he goes diving there a lot, he goes fishing in this specific area because he lives on this boat. So it was very cool to just get like some insight of like the boater's life. So the equipment list goes as such. I filmed with the FPV Cycle Cinesplorer, which is 3-inch Cinewhoop, and I also just recently built a FPV Cycle Tooth Fairy 2 frame, which has the same sort of configuration as a Cinesplorer, except it's a little smaller, it's a little more rigid, it's supposed to be better on the flight controller. So I built that out. So I brought 2 of those, and I brought one 5-inch FPV Cycle Glide frame with the Imperial motors, and I used that for the high-speed chase footage. I also brought this camera, the Sony FX3, with the Tamron 17 to 20 millimeter lens, and also the Sirui 50mm anamorphic lens. That was essentially my equipment list. I was solo. My visual observer was Yvan, the crewmate, and so we had, everything was good, but I was pretty much rolling solo the whole time. So I did some handheld, and then I would switch over to the drone, and I would switch back to handheld, and then I sat Captain Alex down at some calm waters when we were at Stiltsville, and I filmed him doing that, him talking, as you saw, talking about his services and things like that. So that was great. And the sun started setting, and we got some shots closer to downtown Miami, and that was, and South Beach and things like that. And those were made for some amazing shots. Just have the city appear as the drone is coming in. I'm just very, very happy with the compositions, and I tried to use my best cinematographer eye for when I was doing the slow orbiting shots and really trying to keep the boat in the frame and nicely composed with things being revealed in the background, like the sun coming in, the sun flare coming in from behind the boat. I was a little more wild with the 5-inch drone because we were going so fast, and the downwind of the drone was just like hammering it. I could feel I would have to constantly be really managing the throttle of that drone because I was trying to go low angles, very close to the water, but I also get these like downward gusts that would just kind of push me towards the water and I have to like kind of pop out of it, but also try to like stay smooth. So the motors hung in there like beautifully. I did get some cool shots. So things that I learned, this is kind of intermixing with what I was just talking about. I overexposed the GoPro during the chase shots. I should have double checked my exposure before I took off. The sun was at its highest peak and it was at its brightest, so unfortunately I lost some highlights. Footage is still usable, but you know, when you're just not fully happy, you could have just, if it was just underexposed by a hair, it just looks so good. It still looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Another thing that I learned, double, triple check your cables, your power leads from your battery to your propellers to make sure that your props are not going to strike your battery lead. That was my number one mistake, is I had the drone taking off from the hull of the ship and I was in the back of the ship and I couldn't hear the propellers rubbing up against the power lead, and so I managed to take off and then the propeller just cut the ground completely and I knew exactly what happened as I took off because I made a note of it earlier when I took off prior and landed safely, and then the next time I was taking off I was distracted. I was talking to Captain Alex. I didn't double check my power lead position. So check your power leads, or just make sure your power leads don't go anywhere near the propeller, because that I was like rebuilding it and I made the power lead like go out. So in regards to using a handheld camera, I learned that on a boat especially, the up and down motion, you have to brace yourself against something solid because you will get tossed around. There is potential for you to go overboard, so make sure that you're gripping or kind of pushing up against the wall if you're filming something, because it's going to be shaky. The shot's going to be like this, like it's going to make people seasick. So you either bring a tripod or bring like a monopod, or have a gimbal, something that you know can at least like stable, because it's like if you're holding it by hand, which is I was doing the 5 points of contact where I was holding the camera to my chest, so I had it braced and sort of a little more stable, but I was still getting the shakes, and I could have gotten those shakes out if I just put it on a monopod and just kept it on the monopod. That was something that I learned. Another thing that I learned, plastic bottles work. They will save your drone from sinking. I personally used a Perrier plastic bottle that I drank, that I chugged before I took off. Had a nice mineral, sparkling water chug, and then I sent it on its way. But I was hoping that I wouldn't have to use the plastic bottle, but plastic bottle worked. I don't know about, I want to look into using a pool noodle, but I feel like how much air volume is inside of a plastic bottle, it just makes the most sense, even though it's not the most like graceful or like sexy solution. On topic of having a plastic bottle on your drone and flying around in windy situations, I learned that the 5-inch drone handled the plastic water bottle much better than the Cinewhoop, the 3-inch Cinewhoop, because when I was trying to do any kind of yaw sort of orbits, like sideways orbiting around the boat, which I was able to do before without a bottle, with the Cinewhoop, the wind would just like mess with the head loop so hard that I would start doing this like crazy, almost like it was almost losing control and it was about to just fall out of the sky. So I had to like throttle to the max and then like kind of correct it, and then essentially avoid a certain type of movement. Like if my nose was facing down a little bit and I was tilted to the side, I could just feel it start doing this, like this weird effect. So that is a good lesson to learn. I feel like a pool noodle solution would probably be a little more aerodynamic, a little better for a Cinewhoop, but for a 5-inch drone, plastic bottle works fantastic. Just take an extra long battery strap and wrap it around the battery, essentially like underneath the battery, and then squish and tighten it up so the water bottle does not shift around or whatever. So fantastic lessons learned, That's it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, this little look behind the scenes of the creative process of making a little spec ad for a yacht operator, captain person. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing and leaving a little thumbs up-y dude. Comment if you learned anything along with me, because I definitely felt like I learned a lot. I hope you did too. I hope you take some extra steps if you ever fly around a boat to just be double sure. Really, it's like being thorough, Thorough on your equipment check. Make sure nothing gets snagged. Make sure you attach a water bottle. The 5-inch drone, unfortunately, is a little bit unsalvageable, but I was able to recover the GoPro at least, so that is the most important thing. You can always rebuild a drone, but you can't recover footage. My name is Greg. Thank you. You rock. Download the album. I'll see you next time. Bye.